I'm having a bit of work done today on the trees. They are out of control, and I thought I would tackle this rose. It's really very big now, and I've got quite a lot of crossing branches, so I'm going to be quite drastic with it and give it a good old cut back. You can see here, look, I've just got way too many stems, and that's impacting on the flowers. The plant's just trying to do too much. Now you can leave this to late winter, early spring, but I actually can already see where the shoots are, and I've taken loads of photos of it in flower, so I know what it is I want to do. It's just making sure you get around to it by spring. I always think, oh well, I'll do it next time. I'm going to do it now. I thought I'd come and speak to you down here where it's quieter. So you can see I've taken this branch out. What happens with roses is over time they branch and branch and branch, and the stems get thinner and thinner until the roses, the flowers themselves, are too heavy for the very slender branches to cope with. So that's why you give it a chopping back. So I'm taking mine down to about half, and I'm also taking out, look at that, so that is dead. So I don't want to leave that in. So I've taken it below where it's been cut before, so give it a really good fresh start. So the dead growth is gone, and so are all these whippy stems. See, that one's dead, and if you come up the top, that one's died. So we just have a clean sweep and remove the whole thing. But there's still lots there. I will show you at the end. You can see how many slender stems I've got in here. So normally the advice is you do this in late winter. However, without fail, every single year we've done it, all of the new shoots have got burnt because we've got a late frost. So I think the weather's just really changed. It's mild at the moment, and the rose is asleep. And apparently the queen does it like this. Well, the king now. But in order to get earlier flowers, she had her roses pruned before the winter. So it's only November and it is mild. So I thought I'd take advantage of the lift in temperatures and give this a good old tidy up. And then hopefully by the time the new shoots start coming through, the plant will have toughened up and they'll be less likely to get burnt. But if they do, they were anyway. And in which case we just take out just one or two of the nodes down to where the plant's healthy. This one's a good one. So this is crossing. So if you don't remove one of these, can you see? They're going to rub against each other and damage the rose. So one of those has definitely got to go. So look at all of those stems dying off. Can you see that? And they're just getting thinner and thinner. So it's really tempting just to be ginger and snip the tops off. So what I've done is I've taken it right back past all the previous cuts. Look, you can see where it's crossing. That's no good at all. That will rub and then disease will get in. So I've taken it right back past previous cuts into a nice fresh thick stem, and then it can reshoot properly. I was just about to take my picture and I noticed a pollen beetle, so I just did my little blowing trick, and you can see they're now pollen beetle free. It's a climbing rose, and I don't think I've shown it to you properly. It's called a Shropshire Lad. Having a look at the roses and deciding which stock I prefer with each rose. I think this one with Gentle Hermione is beautiful. Looking for something more peachy than pinky, you can't go wrong with Sweet Juliet. This is the Queen of Sweden, so if I only had to pick one rose which would be for cut flower production, so it's not my overall choice, but if you want to grow cut flowers and you only have space for one, this would be it. So it's Queen of Sweden. My God, it is towering over me. It is much taller than me. Hasn't stopped blooming all summer. Do you want another look? Lethal. They're very spiny, but I bought this rose at an RHS, I think it's Hampton Court Flower Show. I couldn't resist it once I smelt it. This is Tranquility, you'll remember, and it's blooming again already. Beautiful. I really should stop messing about and get on with some gardening jobs. But it's difficult. Look at that. Can you believe that that's just a packet of seeds. I found a lovely handful of roses. There you go, that is looking quite drastic, hasn't it? So I've got a couple more stems I thought I'd leave on until I could come back and it's quieter. So I'm going to take out this one here and then take this one here down, and then you'll see about half of the growth has been taken away, but all that's left is the really sturdy stems. So that is going to make a fantastic framework, and it will grow fast in the spring. I can't wait. If you're not sure whether a stem's dead or not, what you can do is just take out the top section, and then you can check to see if that's toast, and then if it is, you know you can take the whole branch out. This is a bit messy because look, it's been cut so many times before, so it's got these knuckles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a fresh start and just cut below, and you want an outward pointing bud so that the stems go this way. So this one's pointing inwards, that one's pointing outwards, so I'm going to go just above here. But what you can do is just cut the top off like that, and then come back in the spring, wait for the nodes to wake up, and then just give it a tidy up. So if you find that you've cut to here and it's inward facing, just trim off to the next junction where it's outward facing. Really easy. And again, look, you can see that's dying back, and we've got so many cuts here from where it's been cut for flowers or trimmed before. So let's give it a fresh start. This is quite an old rose, so let's give it a fresh start and cut to here. So you do not need to do this kind of renovation work every year. You do need to prune them really every year to get the best out of them. But this one's been here quite a while now, so it was well overdue a trim. All right, there we are. Ta-da! Look at that. So nothing now to do at all. Just let them come up in the spring. And the idea is, because they've been pruned down now, any new shoots that come up in the spring will actually be far tougher because they've had some exposure to the cold weather. Let's see how we get on. But that looks really good, doesn't it? Much better. Much more in proportion. And as I say, it will grow like billy-o. As soon as the new shoots come up, it will be back to nearly the whole size again, but with less stems, which equal bigger flowers. There we go. Wowee. Look at those flowers. So I'll let them rest in water overnight. Any bugs then can fly away, and then I can arrange them tomorrow when the weather's bad. All I've got to do now is to find some other flowers in the garden to go with them, and maybe some foliage.